The LASU Life Documentary is a film produced by LASU Life to tell the story of 5 graduates of class 2021 and 2022. The 5 protagonists narrate how their dedication to academics, politics, and extracurricular activities while in school shaped their university experience. The 5 protagonists are subsets of the larger Lagos State University, and their story is a glimpse into the obstacles students of this great institution overcome to be great, so they can proudly chant the LASU in the tribe. We are LASU, we are great.
My name is Ogunkayode Yusuf, aka Mr. Reliable, with a graduate of Lagos State University. The most important habit I felt should be the first move I made when I entered school, because I had mentors like Shotunde, and I was able to learn something that you should go on a journey of self-discovery. So the first thing I did when I came to LASU was to discover what actually works for me. And discovering that, I knew that it's not all about reading. It's about balancing your life. Balancing your academic life is something that has really helped me to achieve this feat. In that sense, when I say balancing, I mean when you can balance your financial life while in school, you can balance your academic life, including your social life and your spiritual life. When those things are balanced, I tell you, it will be much easier for you to learn and understand. Then the second thing I observed is most students, they read for exam, and that's something I did differently. I don't read because I want to pass exam, I want to write an exam. I read and just to understand, so that whenever a question is thrown at me, I can always be in a right state of mind to answer any questions. Life is all about struggles, and from day one I've always learned that problem will always occur, challenges will always come your way. So most times when I struggle, I have a lot of things to run to. That's why I don't joke with people's attention. There's one thing I learned early enough. I'm able to meet people, liaise with them, get ideas from people, and most importantly, in fact, that I can attribute a whole lot of a whole lot of my success to it. My ability to understand how to use the internet very well, as I am an ardent listener or follower of anything happening on YouTube, because I learn a lot on YouTube, I learn a lot with Google, and I'm a kind of person that loves new things. So I'm thrilled whenever something challenges me. I stop seeing it as a challenge and I start seeing it as what else does this thing want to teach me. You know, sometimes people feel this thing is a natural gift. No. Talent might be there, but it is not the major thing. It's just like Cristiano Ronaldo. He might be talented, but it is not really talent that took him to the level he is. It's more of understanding yourself, staying disciplined, and doing what works for you. So now, whenever I face challenges almost every semester, because you have something new to learn. So I had to take out time to ask questions, and also I take out time to read. So whenever the challenge comes, I find a way to just overcome it. So it's more of my mindset helping me out. The mindset of always, okay, there will be challenge, there will be problem, you have to just overcome it. Just for instance, when I was contesting for the President Faculty of Management Sciences, for the longer period of time, I had no opponent. I was working, but you know, the political struggle then was not really tough because you have no challenge. Nobody is there to challenge. You felt you could go unopposed. And at a point, somebody came out against me, which happened to be my opponent, and this guy is quite popular. So it's now all about not just Mr. Reliable again. It's now a 2-horse race with somebody that is capable to take the mantle from me. It's a very great challenge. And also it's a challenge for me with my academics, and I also have my business running at the same time because presently I've registered my company. So the challenge comes, how do I read? How do I run my political campaign? And also, how do I make sure that all other things I'm doing does not fall below bar? I sit down, look at myself. Now I use human resource around me to achieve my goal. So I think whenever challenge comes, the mindset of you willing to overcome that challenges is much better than any other thing, your mindset. So I believe that's one of the things that helped me overcome most of the challenges, because I can categorically tell you there's challenges every step of the way. Okay, it's all about you understanding what you really want in life. It's difficult balancing school, that is academics, with business and also being a political gladiator. It's not easy. Now, I can say what helped me manage that properly is the fact that, first of all, I'm a management student. I'm a business administration student as at that. And majorly what we do as a business administration student is to manage human resources. Is to manage people, not just human resources. Resources generally around you. Maximize it. Like a scholar said, he said, your ability to be a good manager is your will and determination to use other people's resources to achieve a desired aim or goal. There are some people, they need to read 4 to 5 times before they understand. That's some. While for me, I just need someone to explain. When I listen to that person, then I just go back, take 1 or 2 things, sleep over it. In fact, sometimes I prefer playing. I love playing video games. Funny enough, I love watching football. I engage in even social activity. I watch football. I don't spend so much time on the book. I prefer I listen. When I listen, then I go ahead, read maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour. That's the maximum amount of time I usually read per session. So when I read, I go ahead, I relax. That's why I always say balancing your life is what really worked for me. Because I love good food, I love playing, and I also want to do well. It means I must do everything in appropriate, or let me say in a proportional measure, so that one doesn't overshadow the other. And also, on the aspect of business, I think, well, I've suffered when I was young. So that really motivated me, because I come from a family whereby we are 7 in numbers. My dad, my mom, and 5 children, whereby resources will never go around, no matter how much your parents make. And I had 3 brothers in school then, university. My parents will always want to offer, but you can't offer what you don't have. So that made me experience some level of, in fact, high level of deprivation, high level of shortage of resources. Let me just use that word. I think that's a better word. Shortage of resources. So it's more like me living from hand to mouth when I was very young. And when you are in that position, you will be creative. They say adversity introduces a man to himself. When you are in a dangerous situation or in a very cunning situation, you will find out things about yourself you never knew existed. Some people don't know, when I was very young, I sold boiled egg and Indomie. Well, it's part of my growing up, to show you how things were when I was younger. So it has always motivated me to always want to get my hands on business. I've always loved doing business. So that exactly was more like an hobby. When I grew up, doing business becomes an hobby. I just want to be creative. Now, it's not just about doing business now to make money. It's about doing business to affect life positively. It's all about me trying to want to help others. Because I notice when I'm trying to help myself alone, I don't do much. Because I feel, Igbamelu, I'll be done. Most of my classmates know, they can call me in fact, many of them call me most times, what is this, what is that? Many of these questions, I may not know it while sitting. But immediately you ask, because I want to satisfy your cravings for knowledge, I'll also just find 1 or 2 ways to understand the question you're asking, and I give it back to you. In that process, I've learned from you. but not directly from you, indirectly, because it is your inquisition that led me to learning something new, and that thing now becomes something I understand. So it's more like me wanting to help others achieve their goal. It even make me remember a saying by Napoleon Hills. He said, in life, if you want to achieve something, help as much people as possible to achieve whatever they want to achieve, and yours becomes automatic. I think that formula really, really works. First of all, your mindset and your belief system, because it is what happens inward that reflects outward. A lot of things are naturally difficult. Life itself is difficult. I will not butter you up by telling you it is easy. It is not. But your belief that someone has done it before, I can do it. Nobody has done it before, I will be the first to do it. It's a very key belief that I think helped me.
I am Rufai Azeezah Dolamu, a graduate of the Department of Biochemistry, Lagos State University. I am a parliamentarian. I am a podcaster. Good. Politics was a very beautiful idea that was sold to me by the people I lived around. I was opportuned in my 100 level to live with comrades like Omomewa, Galado, Foley, and so many LASU politicians like that. So every night we always sat, in the night talking about LASU politics. Omomewa was particularly enthusiastic about it, so he made me so interested in it. And of course, we all know that the time when Omomewa was actively participating in politics was a very interesting time in LASU politics. So that was what sold the idea to me. And also meeting Rahman Said, Ambassador Rahman Said, is a graduate of biochemistry too. So while I was in school, he introduced me first into parliamentarian politics, into the parliament, and since then I have participated from 100 level to 400 level. I served in 100 level, I served 4 times in the parliament. So while serving at the department, I was opportune to serve in 200 level as the deputy speaker, and then in 300 level as the first female speaker for my department. I served in the faculty and also at LASUSU, a 2-time parliamentarian at LASUSU, serving across different committees, just making sure that I can help in any way that I can. Definitely would have, because I would probably have participated more in public speaking events. I was once the faculty coordinator for sciences for LSUDS, that's LASU Debate Society, but at a point I had to drop because it was taking too much. I was doing school academics, I was doing public speaking, and then politics. It was getting too much for me. So yes, of course, my role in LASU might have changed. The things I got into might have changed. Then also maybe I would have taken more tutorials, taking academics more serious. But I wasn't trying to be the best graduating student of LASU. I was just trying to graduate with a good degree, and thank God I graduated with a first-class degree while participating actively in politics. So for me, definitely it would have changed if I had not gone into LASU politics. And also I would have not met a lot of people that I was opportune to meet. And I'm sure that most of these people in the future, they owe me. They owe me, so they will definitely be productive, be useful for me in the future. So I am definitely grateful that I ventured into politics. LASU politics, I would say, is a reflection of world politics, to be honest. LASU is just a miniature of what actually goes on in the world. And the most interesting part of LASU politics is during elections. You get to use most of the knowledge you learn while, if you were serving as an executive member or especially a parliamentarian. I can speak from a parliamentarian angle because I didn't venture into anything executive all of my, stay in LASU. So, in the house, you learn negotiation skills, the power of communication. You learn how to be patronizing without sounding patronizing. You know how to buy people to your thoughts. You know how to make people believe in what you do. So the best time to actually practice that is during elections, where you have to work for your candidates, like we say in LASU. When you have to make sure that your candidates get delivered and all of that. So LASU politics is entertaining. It can be very crazy. It can be frustrating. It could make or mar you. There are a lot of people that have done LASU politics, and you know, in some song that we'll sing, you say something like "Mashe Sinwalo, Mashe Sinwalo, Oluwa Mashe Sinwalo," and then there are some other persons that would also always remember for the positive things they have done in LASU. So yes, LASU politics is a place, or is really the experience generally is something that have made me believe in so many ideas, something that has, you know, helped me be a better person, and something that has also taught me of what to be scared of, especially humans. Fear them.
I am Braimoh-Igbo Ibrahim, a graduate student of School of Transport, Transport Management and Operations. Now I've served as the 31st LASU President, two-time honorable at the LASU SPC. Sincerely, it was overwhelming and challenging. But then I have to put in my best not to soil my name and, of course, the student interests. Because there are times whereby, you know, calamities will arise and all. But being a student leader, you just have to do your best to stay aloof waters, especially with the states, the students, and the school authorities. The next thing for me after LASU politics is to venture into the real world politics and a career-based journey. I intend to be the Minister of Transportation one day. That's why I'm still purchasing the politics line. And hopefully I get to serve at the Lagos State House of Assembly as one of their essay on transportation one day. So that's why I'm treading my path. Politics and career all joined together. I'll be a professional in transport, professional in politics also.
What extracurricular activities I was involved in and why I joined them. So I was involved in a number of things. I joined the LASU Debate Society in 200 level. I was a member of the MSSN since like 100 level. Sort of instinctively located MSSN, and then I joined them from 100 level. So that was how, you know, all the way to 400 level. But joining the LASU Debate Society for me, it was sort of a pointer from someone. So I was in MSSN, I attended a leadership training, and then I presented the group findings to the crowd. And then the facilitator said, "Zainab, I think you should look more into public speaking. I think you should do more public speaking." And then I felt that was the first time I actually heard that phrase, public speaking. Of course, we all know debating, we all know, oh, you do class presentations, but public speaking, it was like a novel word. Then that was when I saw the publicity from the LASU Debate Society that they were taking trainees. And I joined because they intended to train. Yes. yes. Extracurricular activities, I like to call them the positive distraction, right? They are a distraction. You need to face that. It's a truth. You need to accept that it's a distraction. So they are positive distractions. I remember a particular time when I was on the committee during OBS administration. I was on the committee for planning the 30th anniversary, I think so. I was on the sponsorship committee, right? And I was, you know, the sponsorship committee is like the most important committee in any kind of planning committee. So it was like a very huge role, right? I was the secretary to the sponsorship committee. Imagine having to send letters, getting sponsors, you know, getting the money in and all of that. And then we devised a strategy. It was a trade fair. It was supposed to be the biggest trade fair ever held on LASU. And we had external vendors. So it was like a hassle throughout. It was like a week long of a hassle. Getting vendors, getting payments, reconciling the names and the payments, assigning them to stands and all of that. I remember for 3 days, I missed classes. Imagine a first class student missing classes for 3 days. I was in agony. And I think at that point, I needed to just, I took a step back. After that event, I took a step back and I told myself, I need to prioritize. I need to, focus on what exactly my focus was. So I think, yes, they affected at some point, but because I was able to step back, it didn't affect me too much. What did I gain from all these activities? My entire life. Transformation, growth, people, very important, people. But most importantly, experience. Because when you graduate, you can't just say, oh, I finished with a first class, or oh, I have a BSc. So what else? That's what they'll ask you. So I think that those activities gave me the opportunity to sit down in front of any employer, even if you're not going to employ me. It's not by force, of course, but the confidence to sit and explain exactly what I did. So it gave me that confidence here, basically. So that's why I would say confidence.
I'm Amina Yusuf Adeola, LASU record breaker, a law graduate with perfect GPA of 5.0 from Faculty of Law, Lagos State University. Okay, the fact that I did diploma in law at Lagos State University in the 2016-2018 session. So diploma in law is an 18-month program where you take compulsory law course from 200, 300 to 500 level. So it's a weekend program, and the entire weekday is left for you to decide, to study really hard. So that particular experience helped me. And I finished with 4.98 in diploma. So it was easy coming to direct entry law and making it that good. That is really overwhelming. I'm impressed, and I appreciate the public. This time we're celebrating academic excellence. Strictly speaking, I really did not expect this kind of public acceptance. You get it? A day before this press conference, myself and one of my friends were discussing, and she was like, when this result is released that you graduate as PGS, you get a lot of money, a lot of recognition. And I was like, don't feel unnecessarily. I don't want to feel unnecessarily. I don't want to feel entitled. Because I understand that academic is not the same thing as entertaining. You get? So I did not expect that the world would appreciate it as much as it did. And so it is overwhelming, but I sincerely appreciate it. I currently started developing interest in tech. Okay, because the goal is to specialize in law tech, you get law tech stuff. So my goal is to maybe do my master's and PhD in the area of law and technology. In these times, I will currently undergoing tech trainings in areas like software development, front and back end, with this type. First step, I'm not listening to the naysayers. Literally everything I wanted to do in life, every one of my achievements, I've always been told, no, it's impossible. But develop that sense of motivation from within. Sometimes people will not understand the drive. They won't understand where you are coming from, because you are a whole different person. You are unique to yourself, and there are certain goals that you alone understand the fact that you can actually accomplish it, and how much that accomplishment should mean to you. So that's the first thing. Don't listen to naysayers. If you have a goal that you think that you can work towards it. If it happens, if it doesn't, move on to the next. And then, particularly to academic, I believe that students don't have that much relationship with lecturers, in the sense that other than the lecture room, most students, that's the end of it. Once they are done with lecture, they don't have any connection. And lecturers I feel that lecturers are easy going person. Not all of them do, but they would always be willing to listen to I have always been simplicity. From my diploma days to 500 level low, I had every single time. I had everything. There's a particular question I find it, and I don't show to reach out. The truth is, even if one lecturer says, if you consistently keep looking, someone will give an answer to that question. And I tell you that extra effort made a difference. There was a particular time in diploma when I had criminal law question. Criminal law, I was reading criminal law, and there's this part I find very difficult to address. So I went to the faculty, saw the dean. The lecturer there was the dean, Professor F.A.R. Deniki. And it took working, we had to work through to another faculty of education. So we were both working through LASU, and he explained that. I would have sat back and been like, because it was not a conditioned environment. I was literally running quite a lot fast. But in the course of development, he explained that particular thing I found. And the question, that explanation assisted a particular question and answer. So imagine if I failed to do that. Another time, I remember meeting a legal method lecturer because of the similar situation, and it helped. So sometimes the extra effort you make is amazing. If you're looking towards being perfect, you need to go extra. Don't limit yourself to lectures in class. Don't limit yourself to one particular thing. Because different authorities will not write on the same thing 100%. So the more textbooks you study, the better for you. Online materials, practical cases and all. And then do not forget the God factor. Yeah, it's extremely important. Yeah, it's so important that you pray hard that God eases your journey.